I booked a trip to Spain, so here are 8 history books that are on my shelf right now that I want to read before that trip so I can land in Spain with as much knowledge as possible. Here we go. Now, the first 5 books are all going to be Spanish Civil War history. So the first of this is going to be Spain in Our Hearts by Adam Hochschild, who is a historian I really love to read. This is a book that looks at the international volunteers that went over to Spain to help in the war effort, which I think would pair really well with a piece of fiction that looks at the exact same sort of story, and that's a book called From Whom the Bell Tolls by Ernest Hemingway. If you've read any of these or you've paired them, even better, let me know in the comments. Next up, I have a couple of out-and-out books about the Spanish Civil War. The first is a book called The Battle for Spain by Antony Beevor, a very well-known military historian, as well as a book called The Spanish Civil War by Paul Preston, which is a book I picked up last time I was in Barcelona. I haven't decided which one of these I want to read because this is a pretty complicated topic and I want to go in as fresh as possible without being convoluted by things I already know. So if you've read either of these and you can suggest which one I should read, let me know that in the comments. And to round out my Spanish Civil War reading, I want to read Homage to Catalonia by George Orwell. The main reason is because it's George Orwell and it's a very famous piece of nonfiction by him, but also I feel like if I'm going to focus on the Spanish Civil War, I can't not include his work. Next up is a book that deals with modern Spain, and this is a book called The Anatomy of a Moment, and this is a book that looks at Spain as it's coming out of dictatorship and heading towards democracy. And there's a political moment that sort of seizes the country based on what this book is telling me. I'm being really broad about it because honestly I don't really know what this book is about, but it seems like a really interesting representation of the transformation of a country from one political system to the next. So if you've read it, let me know in the comments. Next are the football books, and one of those books is a book called Fear and Loathing in La Liga, and this is about the massive rivalry between Real Madrid and Barcelona FC. And if you're a fan of either of these clubs, you understand how big that rivalry is in football terms, but do you understand what it is in history terms and what it means for each city, the people, the independence movement of Catalonia, and the long historical story that brings this rivalry to the forefront? This is why I want to read this book. And the next one is a book called La Roja by Jimmy Burns. And this is a book about the history of Spanish football, which of course is going to involve lots of interesting cultural, historical pieces, but it's also been updated several times. Let me know in the comments which one of these you suggest I should prioritize and what you've read and what you thought of them. And if you have other options for me to pick up, also let me know those in the comments. I'll see you guys in the comments.